Inside the Vertigo was supposed to be my next solo album, and I decided it sounded too much like a group effort. It sounded too much like a band, more so than a solo effort. So we simplified it by basically taking my last name, as has been done through history with Van Halen, with Daughtry, with Dio, Doc and Winger, so many other bands that used one person's name in the band. Originally, because it was supposed to be a solo album, I went to a lot of my kind of famous friends and people that I admire and respect that I wanted to write with, and I knew they could help me kind of get in the direction of where I wanted to go with this album. I also got to be really good friends with Mike Orlando, who's the guitar player, writer, producer. He's just an extraordinary artist overall for Adrenaline Mob, and I really liked Adrenaline Mob's vibe and their sound and their style, and I asked Mike to send me something that might kind of fit the mold, and within the first, I didn't even have to weed through anything. It was one song he sent me that completely fit the bill, and that actually opens the album. It's a song called Final Say. One of the people I highly respect and admire truly is Gus G, who's currently playing guitar for Ozzy Osbourne and fronts his own legendary band Firewind. And Gus invited me to sing and co-write on a song for his first solo album. And with that being said, I kind of bartered services and asked him to come up with something that might suit the direction and where I was heading towards on this particular album. So together we wrote a song called Wrath.
Well, I am not so complicated. I am not the one you traded. I'm the light through all the blackness. I'm the wrath you call the madness.
I first met Jeff Scott Soto during rehearsals for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. We both play for the band, but Jeff plays for the West Coast Touring Company, and I play for the East Coast. So the only time we actually got to see each other was during rehearsals, where both coasts came together in the same venue. We became instant friends, what can I say, man? We're both from New York, we have the same kind of personalities, both have the New York sense of humor.
To me, it's a natural transition because we never felt like hired musicians. We've been touring with Jeff since 2009, and it was never like Jeff Scott Soto in the band. We always had this connection between us, and we always had this unity, and we are just confirming this with Soto.
This is a privilege to be with these guys, and this new fresh thing for Jeff and also for us is it's an amazing album. Inside the Vertigo.
And BJ sent me this riff that was, it was undeniable. It started off really strong, and the chorus kind of sung itself. It came out of the sky, basically. As soon as I heard the chorus, the melody just dropped in my lap, and it was so easy. It was one of the easiest songs on the album to write.
I wrote a song with Jeff, Jealousy, and of course it's my favorite tune.
I also went to another friend of mine who I admire and truly respect in the business, Jason Beeler, who fronts the band Saigon Kick. We've been friends for over 20 years, and Jason was part of the first Talisman tour back in 1990. He was the lead guitar player for that. He went home and started Saigon Kick, and that's a whole nother story, but I've always had this yearning to co-write with Jason, and I asked him to come up with the heaviest thing that he could send me, and together we came up with this song called Karma's Kiss. I've been touring with Trans-Siberian Orchestra for the past 7 years, I think now. We've done many tours and collaborations together, and through that I've met some amazing musicians, some amazing people. One of them being Al Petrelli, who provided the guitar solo for one of the only kind of ballads on the album, a song called When I'm Older. I knew Al would give it the exact treatment that this song needed, and again, he's one of the people I admire and respect in this business, and I've always wanted to work with, so it was a no-brainer to get him on this particular track. Through my time with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, I met a couple other musicians who are part of the organization. They're young, they're amazing musicians, I mean beyond amazing musicians. They remind me of the years that I spent with Yngwie Malmsteen back in the 80s, the level of how good these guys are at such a young age that I knew I wanted them to step in and collaborate with me on this. One of the guys' name is Tony Dickinson. He's a great bass player, but he's also a multi-instrumentalist, composer, producer, all of the above. The guy's in his mid-20s, and he came up with the first single from the album, The Fall. Another guy I met through TSO is another young musician, Connor Engstrom. He's a brilliant guitar player in his mid-20s, just an amazing composer, producer, writer of soundtrack-style music. He's written a lot of instrumental things that are just mind-blowing, and I had the idea of creating kind of a movie soundtrack. It's, say if you took Avatar or Braveheart, mixed in with the Live and Let Die, James Bond kind of thing, just an epic Bohemian Rhapsody, but a modern-day metal track with a little Pink Floyd thrown in for good measure. It was hard to actually come up with something like this based on the description, but he nailed it right on the head. And we wrote the almost 9-minute song called End of Days. It truly is one of my prouder moments as a songwriter, because it definitely takes you through this entire kind of journey, so to speak, from beginning to the end.
I wrote the music for the track Fall to Pieces. I sent Jeff the instrumental backing track, and within just a few hours he sent it back to me, completed with the melody and words. It was amazing.
The direction of the album is certainly a lot heavier than I've done the past years, so in a way it's a departure for me. It's definitely going into new territory, but it's also like coming home again, because I do come from a very heavy background musically, and I kind of felt it was time to reflect back to that. Musically, I missed that heavier side, that heavier sound that I've kind of been ignoring the past years. The words "rock and roll is dead" were recently exclaimed by a famous public figure, and I have to disagree with this. I might go as far as saying rock and roll is floating in the abyss somewhere and waiting to attack again. And trust me, there are a lot of rock and roll fans that are waiting for this attack, and there's a lot of bands like Soto that are waiting to head that charge. Until then, I welcome you inside the Vertigo.
If we fall, it's such a crime.